Hello, Bereans. Thanks for joining Berean Bible Journeys. And we are going to be verse mapping Revelation 13 and 17 today. And this is continuing on with the series that I've been doing of the other verses here in this same chapter. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen with you so we can get started. So I'll read the verse, Revelation 13 and 17. And that no man may buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name or the number of the beast. Or the name of the beast, sorry, or the number of his name. All right. So right off the bat here, one thing that we have to do is we have to get our context, right? This verse starts with the word and. So we know that this is adding something to what was previously said. So if you look back at that entire chapter, the entire chapter of 13 of Revelation, you're going to find that it's talking about the first beast that comes, whose name is blasphemy. And then the second beast comes and continues on with what the first beast has already started, causes everyone to worship the first beast. They have made an image down around verses 13 to 14, 15 down in there. They've made an image to the beast, and there's another verse map about that. So I'll put these links in the description below where I've already verse mapped these verses, 8, 14, and 16. In this same chapter, as well as the verse map about the giant. All right, and so the previous verse, just previous to this one, says, and he causes all to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, right? We've heard this our whole lives, wondering what in the world is this going to look like? All right, so we start with the first word, and. This is the word kai, and it can mean even, also, namely, moreover, indeed. It never means however. So it is adding to, indeed, namely. All right. So let's carry on. In order, so and that can mean in order that, so that, and for the purpose that. All right. No, which just means not, and it denies the thought of. Man, so that can be a certain someone, anyone, whomsoever will, right? No man may, which is the same word as power that we know from Scripture. So could, should be able to, or have power. So this man should be able to, no man should be able to or have power to buy. Listen to this, it's purchased in the marketplace, or it even means just to go to the marketplace. So if you think about the things that have come out in the past couple of days with Emmanuel Macron in France saying that by August the 1st, his people are not going to be able to go to the store if they don't have, you know what? Pretty crazy. All right. And, or, so they can't buy or go to the marketplace, or, and this word or, it distinguishes things or thoughts which either mutually exclude each other or one of which can take the place of the other. So it's either or, okay? So they can't buy or go to the marketplace or sell, which is exchange or barter. All right, so we got that whole first section of that verse. All right, so they couldn't buy or sell, save he that, and I put this in the Greek here, how it is actually written out. If it says, if not the one. So if you are not the one. If, never translated as sent. Not, we've already went over that word. Okay, so if you have not had, and this means have, hold, possess, to have or to hold in the hand, adhere to, cling to, and to be closely joined to. So be thinking about what we're talking about here as we read these definitions. We're talking about having this mark, and you are adhering to and clinging to something, and you are closely joined to this something because you have this mark. And the word mark is charagma, and it means a stamp, an impress, a brand, an engraving, etching, figuratively, a mark providing undeniable identification, right? Like a symbol, giving irrefutable connection between two parties. All right. All right. So we're going to take just that word here in just a second. Oh, before we go on, the word had there, we're talking about that you have this mark. That Greek word is echo. It's where we get our English word echo. As if you having this mark means that you are echoing the beliefs and the characteristics of the beast, right? And from the Oxford Dictionary over here, to echo can mean a close parallel or a repetition of an idea, a feeling, a style, or an event. A person who slavishly repeats the words or opinion of another. So be thinking ahead about this beast and the beast system that we're going to talk about. So the people that are following and wandering after the beast lavishly repeat the words and opinions of another. I mean, all I can think of is the news. That's what that makes me think of. All right, so if we rewrite just this section of the verse before we go on with these definitions that are expanded, okay? Just read with me. Revelation 13:17, and even also namely, in order that, and so that, for the purpose that, no man, a certain someone, any, or whomsoever may or could or should be able to have power to buy, purchase in the marketplace, go to the marketplace, or sell or exchange, if he is not the one that has, have, hold, possesses, he has and holds in his hand. That's interesting that that word is in there, in the hand. Adheres to, clings to, is closely joined to, and echoing the words and opinions of this mark, this stamp, this impress, this brand, engraving, etching, that undeniable identification that gives a connection between two parties. If you don't know how to verse map, I'm sorry. Here on Berean Bible Journeys, we use the context in the original languages to verse map the word. I'm sorry. So if you've never done this before, I'll link one of the other videos before that shows you exactly how to do this. I got these definitions straight from the Bible Hub Strong's Dictionary to give us more insight into the word. All right, so let's take just this word mark. This is Strong's number 5480. We read that definition, right? Originally, listen to this, this word was a stamp or an impress on a coin or a seal, right? It later became an identification marker with an owner's unique brand or mark, like a logo, right? So these are some examples over here on the right. These are, they call them bullahs or seals that have been discovered in the Holy Land in the past years. This was like, I believe it was one of Josiah's, King Josiah's court officials. That's this one, Nathan Melech. And I believe this is Hezekiah's. Forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. But so anyway, you know, this is how they would seal a document. Instead of like their signature or something, they would stamp this into clay usually and seal something. This down here on the left, this is like, you know, this is how you've seen them seal letters with clay, and they stamp the impress or engraving into the clay, right? Over here on the right, you know, it talks in the New Testament about when they sealed the tomb. And they sealed it so that everybody would know that the king said, or Herod said that that tomb was sealed and that Jesus or Yeshua was in there. So he would have put his seal on that thing to give that validity, right? And then just another example, this is the seal of the United States. And this goes on all our documents and things that we send back and forth to other countries as a seal. That is our logo or identification mark. It's like your signature. Okay. Just some examples of well-known signatures. These are things that you know exactly who John Hancock is just by looking at that. You can see those signatures and recognize them. We have come now to where we have logos, you know, on letterhead. That's kind of your signature. And you really can't get someone else's logo, and you can't even find it on the internet hardly, or their their letterhead, they call it, makes their documents official, right? This here on the left, they used to do seals like this. They would press this into clay, and then it was tied to the document. And then you've heard of like a signet ring down here in the right-hand corner. Same thing. They would wear it on their hand so that nobody else could get it, and they could seal their documents and things with that. Now we have all these logos. We don't really have seals anymore. We have all these logos from all these companies, right? Gmail and Starbucks and Amazon and Google, Facebook and Apple. These are very well-known logos that people have now. And, you know, you can already look at these logos before I even get to the end of this. And you know by looking at this who these people are following. You know, they've all opted into the rainbow usurpation, I'm being careful what I say, of God's rainbow, and turned it into something that is completely anti-God. So it's just interesting. You know, they have already marked themselves, basically. There's another video about that. All right, so this word, still working on the same word for mark. It's from the same as sharak, a scratch or etching, a stamp as of a badge of servitude, or a sculpted figure or a statue, a graven mark. So think about that, like it's a badge of servitude. So when you get this mark, just like it's going to say who you serve, right? It comes from the same as sharak, a pointed stake, a rampart. A stake, you know what that is. Rampart, from paraso, to sharpen to a point. These are etching tools down here. That's how you would etch in stone or clay or whatever to make a seal. So that's where all that word comes from. And then I don't know if you've seen this. This has been going around on the internet some. On the left, that's a picture of a hypodermic needle. And on the right is a snake fang. In being that Satan came in the first form of a snake, and that we have something now that people are being marked with that looks like this. So, I mean, people can say, well, I don't think that's it. Well, maybe not. I'm not saying for sure it is, but it's got lots of characteristics of the word mark. All right. Other instances of marks in Scripture. Once in Ezekiel 9:4, this is the Old Testament, the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men, that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So he was saying, I want you to mark these people who are upset about the evil that is going on. And I think that will happen again in the end. He's going to draw a distinction between the people that are sighing and crying about the abominations that are going on. And in Genesis 4:15, you remember that Cain killed Abel and then God marked him. That's a different word, but just another example of he was marked with an evil mark. The word in Hebrew, this from Ezekiel, when God marked the good people, that word is tav, a mark on the forehead, a sign of exemption from judgment. By implication, a signature. It is the last letter in the Hebrew alphabet. It was shaped like an X in the most ancient script, where we get X marks the spot. That one's like a tav in the more modern Hebrew. In Greek, the word Christos, the first letter looks like an X. That's where we get, when they shorten the form of Christmas to Xmas, that's where that comes from. So we have this X symbol there. I don't know if that might come into play. Just a side that when you're sealed, you're concealed. So they were sealed inside the ark, and the ark was sealed within and without with pitch, which is the exact same word for atonement. And there's a whole verse map about the Ark of the Covenant if you are interested in that side of it. All right, stick with me here. We're going to go through this pretty quick. In Revelation 9, you know, in the end, the tribes are sealed, right? This is the Greek word, I don't know how to say that, ragus. It's a seal, a signet ring. We talked about that. Proof, an etched object, again, pressed into soft wax or clay to seal a document. All right. And it's from the word 4972, razigizo, seal, to attest ownership. Again, we're talking about you're owned by someone when you have this. Validating what is sealed, full security carried by the backing of the owner. In the ancient world, a legal signature which guaranteed the promise or the content of what was sealed. Sometimes done in antiquity, listen to this, by the use of religious tattoos, again, signifying belonging to someone. Remember that tattoo part. Often used metaphorically, like in Romans 4:11, and he received the sign of the circumcision, a seal of the righteousness of the faith which he had. And in 1 Corinthians 9:2, if I be not an apostle unto others, yet doubtless I am to you, for the seal of mine apostleship are ye in the Lord. And 2 Timothy 2:19 says, nevertheless, the foundation of God standeth sure, having this seal, the Lord knoweth them that are his. So something that is sealed is concealed, as in the ark, hidden and protected from harm. Revelation 9:2, we know they are told, the angels, they shall not harm the grass of the earth, nor any green thing, nor any tree, but only the men not having the seal of God on their forehead. All right, now we're going to just go on with the rest of this verse. I started to split this into a separate video, but hang on till we get to the end of this, okay? And then you may have to go back and watch it again to get it all. So we're starting with the first part of the verse, and that no man may buy or sell save he that had the mark. And then remember it says, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So that word name is onoma, a name, an authority, a cause, a fame, a reputation. Figuratively, it's the manifestation of someone's character. So in ancient times, especially in Hebrew, a name wasn't just something you were called. It embodied your entire person. In Hebrew, like I say here, a name is inseparable from the person to whom it belongs. It's used for everything the name covers, the thought or feeling of which is roused in the mind by mentioning, hearing, or remembering the name. So this name is going to be a huge thing. The name of the beast, a wild beast, a dangerous animal, venomous. Remember back to the snake picture. Wild, it never refers to animals used for sacrifice. Figuratively, of a brutal bestial nature. And the Bible Hub states that under figurative, a beast is depicted as the Antichrist, both his person and his kingdom and power. So it embodies, this name is going to embody his kingdom, his system, and all of his power. And listen to this, never, this word never is with allusion to the stupidity of beast. So this beast is not stupid. He's very crafty. Same as the word from Sarah, hunting, entrapping, a net, a means of capturing prey. Remember, he's roaring about seeking whom he may devour. He's looking to deceive you. Okay. Or, okay, so we could have the name of the beast or the number of the name of it is what it actually says in the Greek. It doesn't say of his name, it says the number of the name of it. Those two words are pretty self-explanatory, and we're back to the number of this name. Remember that name that embodies the entire character. Okay, so let's go on and look at a couple of things. So if we talk about these numbers, we've heard this our entire life, the 666. Some people say that the World Wide Web, because the Hebrew numbers have a number assigned to them. We don't do that in English, but Hebrew and Greek numbers, Hebrew and Greek letters have a number assigned to them. So www is the same as saying 666, right? Well, because I'm on the internet doesn't mean I'm following the beast, right? But could that be part of the deception that he uses to deceive people? Very likely. This is Google. You've seen this a ton, and it has 666 in it. Now you can say, well, they didn't mean to do that. Well, I don't know about that. It's pretty obvious. How about, this is CERN, the Hadron Collider that is in Switzerland. If you've never looked that up, I'll let you look that up. They're trying to slam molecules into each other to open up, to create life again, and to open up the universe to, that'll probably have something to do with the pit opening. Their symbol is the 666. And you can look at these, and there's lots of them. And then not necessarily a 666, but remember, we're talking about the character of this beast. And you know that every one of these companies have adopted this rainbow thing. They all jumped feet first into that and followed right after that. Oh, okay, that's what we're doing this month. Okay, let's all change our logos to look like the beast or the person that is against the teachings of Christ, right? So you can start looking for them and you will start seeing them pop up. Okay. And then surely you've heard of this, but if you haven't, this is from Mr. Gates. I call him the Gates of Hell. This is his newest invention, the quantum dot tattoo. Remember that word tattoo is part of the definition for the mark. This is what they want to do. It's a patch that has like microscopic little needles in it, and the patch goes on your skin and it deposits whatever the information into your body. So that's something that they already have. In this quantum dot tattoo, the main ingredient is luciferase. I mean, I don't know if it could get any plainer. People say, well, I wouldn't accept anything on accident. I don't know, like, you better be careful. So this quantum dot tattoo uses luciferase. It's the bioluminescent glowing thing in it that makes it glow under light, like your Chuck E. Cheese tattoo. It's a dot tattoo for the hand. It will include your identification mark and vaccination records. It uses an enzyme called luciferase enzyme. This is the same enzyme that makes fireflies light up, and is literally called a certification mark, and it will be connected to ID 2020 and a human implantable device for buying and selling. Google patent number 060606. And it talks about here the bioluminescence, and Satan, one of his names is the light bearer. Okay, this is the patent if you need to look it up, the 060606. Microsoft technology, you can see right there, cryptocurrency system using body activity data. So that's how they came out with it. They were going to attach it to cryptocurrency, and then you wouldn't need any actual money in your hands anymore. It would be like in your body. So one other thing, well, I'll show you that in a minute. Hang on. So when we think of this seal or mark in modern terms, in terms of how this mark will look in our day, as prophecy is coming to pass every minute now, it could be spiritual. There's a video about that. This one right here, about he calls us all to receive a mark. In Hebrew thought, that phrase is a spiritual thing, like your thoughts and your deeds. It could be figurative, like logos, companies that are part of the beast system and pushing the beast agenda, wandering after the beast. So you can see the two video about the two groups in Revelation on who will worship the beast. I'm currently doing a video about the strong delusion. I'll have to get that one up for you. Could it be both of these things? This video again about the in your hand or your forehead talks about could be a combination of those things, literal and spiritual. It could, because if you're following these companies that are promoting the beast, then you will fall into strong delusion and believe the lie. Like I said, Google is not necessarily the beast, but if it's part of that system that you're following and consuming every day, then you could be led into a lie. All right. Could it be physical, as in this sharp that everyone is receiving now? We know the whole world has now been preconditioned to have their temperature checked on their forehead and have your forehead scanned. Your thumbprint can be your identification, your palm scanned. Some people have already had chips put in their hand. That technology is already in place. So yes, it could be nothing for those following the beast system to just accept that in their hand or in their forehead. So think of it not just as one man, but as a beast system. Think New World Order. Companies, politicians, actors, actresses, singers, musicians, you're watching them right now choose a side and take note. Are they following the Creator or are they following the beast? Watch their fruit. Watch who they support. Watch who they censor or silence. Watch who they promote. So start at the top. In our government, are our leaders promoting antichrist, lawless agendas? How about down at your local level, your governors and your senators, your mayors? How about the teachers at your school? They're wanting to teach, you know, CRT. Is that right? Yeah, try not to say it. CRT in the schools, which is just another form of this system. Your newscasters and your reporters on television and the internet are not telling you any truth. They're not. How about your grocery store? Are they following the system and what they're being told to do? Mine is. So Revelation 13:3 says, and all the world wandered after the beast. So that word wonder means amazed, marvel, astonished, out of one's senses, awestruck, wondering very greatly. I mean, out of one's senses. Do you not look at people and say, open your eyes, like look around you at what is happening. The Bible is coming to pass in front of your face, and you're just glazed over, right? And 1 John 4:3 says, the spirit of the Antichrist, whereof you have heard that it should come, and even now already it is in the world. Now, that was written a long, long time ago. So this has been a very long-term, very carefully laid plan, or I say snare. Now, I want to show you one video. Before I do that, let me go back and get this video for you and show it to you real quick. This was put out, I don't know, a couple of months ago. And let's see if I can bring it in. Yeah, so we talked about this seal, right? This seal, this mark, this identification mark. So now these actors and actresses and singers and whatever, politicians, are promoting this well health safety seal. I mean, like, you can't even make this up. Like, so just watch.
If you want to get back to your favorite places and feel confident they have put your health and safety first,
look for the Well Health Safety.
Look for the Well Health Safety Seal.
Look for the Well Health Safety Seal. I'm Dr. Richard Carmona, the 17th Surgeon General of the United States of America. This is the Well Health Safety Seal from the International Well Building Institute, the global authority on healthy buildings. The Well Health Safety rating was informed by years of research and input from hundreds of
So these are people that they have put up here that are following the system, right? They are fully following the system, and they're putting their faces up here to try to encourage those that are watching the TV every day to accept this.
Leading virologists, public health experts, epidemiologists, and building professionals around the world.
You'll see it at schools, offices, banks, childcare centers, all the places we go.
The Well Health Safety Seal means that we'll feel better going into restaurants, theaters, stores, hotels,
Stadiums, all the places that we love.
Everything may look the same, but the Well Health Safety Seal means that your health and safety are top of mind when it comes to
cleaning and sanitizing procedures,
Air and water quality management.
Emergency preparedness programs.
and health services.
so look for the Well Health Safety Seal outside and feel more confident going inside. Learn more.
So you can see that they've already got this in the works, that they can mark all of the buildings, even all of the businesses, so that you can look right on the building and go, oh, and they're following the system, right? They're following and wandering after the beast. So it's not going to be real hard to figure out, by their fruit, whose side they're on. And I just put this last verse up there. 2 Timothy 2:19. Nevertheless, the foundation of God standeth sure, having this seal, the Lord knoweth them that are his, and let everyone that nameth the name of Christ depart from iniquity. And I'll show you that word iniquity actually means lawlessness. And lawlessness is indicative of the Antichrist. That is his other name, the man of lawlessness. And there's lawlessness is being promoted daily in our countries now. They're reveling in it and promoting it and backing it with money. So it's pretty obvious, whose side is who and who's taking whose side. These are just those other videos that I mentioned that are along these lines. These are all from Revelation chapter 13, and you can find those on my channel. This is my t-shirt that I created. I'd rather be verse mapping, and you can ask anybody in my family or my friends. That's what I'd rather be doing. I would rather be verse mapping. I love it. Thank God for it. It helps me so much. And I have some books that I have written, Finding the Feast, about the 7 feasts of Yahweh. If you are not informed on the feast, you're going to miss half of your Bible. I mean, that's just the truth. You've got to go study it. We have been kind of hidden from it in mainstream Christianity. You've got to go dig into it. The same thing with the Sabbath day's journey. I wrote that from my studies about the Sabbath. So if you are interested in learning about the Sabbath, that's an amazing blessing. And that is about my journey to the Holy Spirit, about the baptism of the Holy Spirit. T-shirts that say, but if not. And this is kind of code for we're not going to bow. So as you see all this happening in our world, you need to have already decided in your family and in your mind that you are not going to bow. And so that's from Daniel 3:18, when he set up a large statue, like the giant 2021 that we're talking about. He set up a large statue and told them that they needed to bow down to it. And they said, our God is able to deliver us, but if not, we still will not bow to your golden idol. So that needs to be your motto. But if not, we are still not going to bow. So that is all I have on that. I think that was a lot. Sorry. Thank you for joining me on Berean Bible Journeys, and I will see you next time. We'll do some more of these verses from Revelation. I'm going to get to the next one about the number of his name. Thanks, and have a blessed day.